Trust your instincts, okay.
Let go of the past.
Let go of the past, That maybe the person is contemplating pursuing a job outside the company, bringing the company along a little bit or something. With my feeling there would be some clinging.
Clean up where you are now, too.
Clean up where you
Clean
are
up
now,
where you
too.
are now, or else if you do make a change, you could just find yourself in the exact situation.
Yeah,
So,
bringing along some
look
crud.
and see what you, why you'd even consider this.
Changing attitudes, old attitudes or old habits.
Getting off to a clean start.
Yeah, getting off to a clean start and recognize you have the power to choose that.
Right.
You have the power to choose. It says, be patient, guidance will reveal itself, trust. So trust, and I claim the power that somehow I can claim it, I can trust that it would be, and anything else? Be patient. Guidance will reveal itself. Today I claim the power. Those seem to go against each other, huh? One is sort of relaxed, it'll all work out. The other one says, claim, make your statement.
Well, not necessarily. Claim, it doesn't, you read it that way,
Well,
but
you read it. Let's hear you read
you
it.
can say, today I claim the power that is mine to choose the attitude by which I live. And sometimes we get so connected to where we are, we feel obligated, and we can make a shift in our attitude that allows us more possibilities.
But also guidance could come and then you can claim the power. I mean, they could be related and not contradictory.
Okay. What's your feeling on a scale from 1 to 10? How right on did the reading, that was the part that I made up, do? And on a scale from 1 to 10, how right on did you think the question was? Was it pertinent? Did it speak to the point? And on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you think about the wisdom card? Was it right on? So just sort of make some notes, and if you want to write anything else about this particular question. One of the things we'll do at the end is we'll sort of do an average rating, see kind of where everything is at. Not scientific, but we're going to be going through 10 of these, and so just make some notes as to your gut reaction, your feeling, and so on about this particular situation. Okay? All right, now we will close in here and focus on Christy. Yes, and Christy is going to reach into the question jar and pull out a question. Very good, and she's holding the question in her hand there. And we will all silently guide Christy now and surround her with light as she's focusing on her breathing to remind herself that she can trust an inspiration.
Okay, I think the lesson in that one was ask for help when I need it. Don't be afraid to ask others to lend a hand, and don't be too proud to ask. I think that's the moral of the story.
Okay.
Maybe not to bite off more than I can chew.
All right, so now we're going to reach in. Oh, read the question that's being asked.
Do I have to tell if I know someone is lying?
Say that again.
Do I have to tell if I know someone is lying?
Okay, let's hope that this is not a hypothetical question. Do I have to tell if I know someone is lying? Okay, so we'll assume that they're in a situation where they know that someone is lying and they're wondering whether or not they should tell on them that this is real and not hypothetical. Okay, very good. So now that's the question. So now here, reach into the... And the answer is, I think maybe it starts over here.
Okay. Forgiveness. Each night before going to sleep, forgive yourself for any wrongs you feel you may have committed that day, and forgive others for any slights you feel have been made against you. And that's pretty poignant.
Okay, and we will slide these cards over here for you. And you can now draw a wisdom card.
Okay.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
Okay. Today, I will not look to anybody else for what I can only find in myself.
Okay.
Okay, I'll repeat that.
Okay.
Today, I will not look to anybody else for what I can only find in myself.
Now, it sounds to me like that's a direct contradiction
It does.
to the other. For her, she's saying in her connection, don't bite off more than you can chew, don't be afraid to ask for help. This card says, today I will not look to anybody else for what I can only find in myself. Now maybe that's a contradiction or not, but now this is what I'm wanting you all to be sensitive to. This, we would say, would be synchronicity. Her story is some kind of an intuitive, psychic connection, possibly synchronicity, but she's also bringing her own intuitive connectedness into it. And this one is, maybe it's synchronicity, maybe it's psychic. We can discuss it more at length later, but and so now we hand it off to the next person, giving them a question to draw. And as they draw the question, then they'll get into the space of divine mind, as we've learned how, by getting into the breath, the flow of the breath, and then the gratitude and the open heart, and coming up with a memory, asking that that memory help them understand themselves in such a way that it would be helpful to the question that they're holding. And then we draw something from the answer jar that a student had contributed, as well as one of the commercial cards. In this case, we're using the change cards by Erlene Larson, but we could have easily have used I Ching, hexagrams, tarot cards, or other sources of commercially available and ancient wisdom. And so each student gets a chance to play, and then at the end we'll have a way to go about seeing which of the sources, the intuitive reading the student provided, the answer from the jar, or the commercially available piece of wisdom, how helpful were each of these sources in the total divination for that particular question. Well, you can see, like in what you're doing, we have our course called Divination, Synchronicity, Intuition, and what they all have in common is looking for patterns, seeing patterns, putting the patterns together. The one person had called intuition, seeing the patterns that connect. In other words, sort of knowing which patterns to use to see how things connect together. Intuition, we feel somehow, we feel it, we sort of know what's what, and we're trying to bring that up. And how do we bring that up? We draw on things that we know, words that we know, things that we've experienced. We're trying to make sense out of something. And in divination, we're trying to understand what is the harmony here. There's some way to move that would be very smooth, that would be loving, that would be whatever. And we're trying to sort of piece the thing together. And in divination, also, you're having to then look at the cards and something else, and we're using 2 or 3 things, and you're sort of sifting through it. And we've been watching now, as the people sift through the different information, they start getting more of a feeling for what are we talking about here. We have the person's question, we have this answer, we have this story. All of these events are part of a pattern, the pattern of this issue, this unnamed issue, or it's sort of named. And we start, as we talk about it, we start, you might say, settling into what it is, and we start having more and more of a feeling. Like we're drawing on something maybe we've experienced before, some wisdom of the universe, some pattern of living, pattern of experience that people encounter in their life. And I think we're experiencing what is involved, the different components of consulting.